So quite a few of you asked me to do a tour of the studio, so that's what I'm going to do right now. So this is my mouse room, and it's in the loft above our garage, so it's separate from the house, and I actually really like it that way because then I do not have to worry about the cat coming in. That was always a worry before. And also, with it being separate from the house, it was very, very easy to make 100% mouse proof. So no mouse can get out of here, and any mouse that does go AWOL, I can easily find and easily catch again. So it is perfect. It took forever though. We started out with a loft that was unfinished when we bought the place. It had skylights that had been improperly installed, so we had to take them out, and all the wood around it was rotten, so we had to replace all that. And then we decided, because it was so iffy, that we would gut the whole place and redo all the gyprock. And that took forever. And gyprock is no fun at all, but we ended up actually doing a reasonably okay job. And once that was done, then I could do all the woodworking. So the woodworking I do myself, and I have a very simple technique that I use. I have no training in woodworking, so everything that I've done is self-taught. So I've had to be innovative in how to do it so that it looks good and it's easy to do and it's strong and it works. So the first thing I built was the bed, and I don't really use this bed much, but I really like having it here because I want the studio to have a really homey feel, like a tiny house. So I wanted to have all the sort of features of a home, and a bed is a must in order to make this place look really cozy. So I don't use the bed much, but it looks nice, and the dog loves it. So she quite often is in the studio with me because she likes to always be around where people are. And she has two beds in here. She has this one, and then she also has this bed. So she has a choice, and she likes them both about equally, I would say. So now she's decided to hunker down in here, and this is like a cozy little den for her, and she really, really likes it. So sometimes she's down there, sometimes she's up here, and when she wants to go back to the house, she's on the doormat. So that's Brookie's life. And she really likes it in here, because if she's in here, she gets lots of love, and she gets cookies and treats. And when the mice get cookies and treats, she gets some too. So she likes it here. So that's the dog. These cupboards down here are unfinished. The studio isn't quite done yet. Two reasons for that is because it was a hell of a lot of work. You'd be amazed how long it takes to build stuff like this. And it's hard work, so I couldn't get it done last summer. But I also like it this way because then it gives me about half a year to live with it, and then I can decide how to finish it next summer, what would be best. So down here, we still need to add doors. And where Brookie is, it's going to be solid doors in the middle. And it'll have, on either end, there's going to be wooden doors with hardware cloth. So they'll basically be dual purpose areas. They'll be used both for storage, and then if I need extra space for mice, they'll also work as a mouse cage. I will have to make doors for them, and doors are quite tricky to make, so I haven't done them yet. They'll be for next summer. I have to add lights, and I also have to make it reasonably mouse proof so nobody can chew their way out. Plus it has a electrical outlet, and we'll have to make sure that that is safe for the mousies. But this will end up a superb space for extra mice. Tons and tons of space, and once I get the doors in, nobody will be able to escape. So I used to have some makeshift doors on these. They were made out of 10 plast with hardware cloth, and they were attached with Velcro. And they worked actually quite well until my latest batch of unneutered males. And little Caleb and his brother Archie figured out pretty soon how to get out of them. So now I've decided not to use them anymore, considering they're being chewed up quite a bit, and these aren't going to be final mouse cages. They're going to be storage. This one's going to be storage, and this one will be a dog bed, but it'll have solid doors. So when Brooke isn't in the studio, it can be closed up, and when Brooke is here with me and she wants to use it, then I just open up the doors, and she has a nice little den to cuddle up in and be cozy in. So that's the plans for the bottom. There'll be 2 cages on either side that can also be used for storage, and 2 storage areas in the middle, one of which will be used as a dog bed for Brookie. And so upstairs, this is the main mousery, and I'll see if I can show you the entire thing. It's difficult because I've got stuff in front of it, but basically there's 2 mouseries on either end and a very large one in the middle. And this is what I call an open concept mousery. So the mice don't have any doors. It's just a big open space. And the reason you can keep domesticated mice like this is because they have a natural fear of, not really fear, it's caution of heights. So very, very few mice will ever jump out of a mousery that's roughly this height off the ground, so 2.5 feet or so. And they will never leave. Occasionally, though, you'll get a very adventuresome mouse who will jump, and that's why it's important to have such a mousery in a mouse-proof room. But for the most part, everybody just stays where they're supposed to be, except when they're very young. So this far one here, I've got a piece of plexiglass with Velcro that I can attach. So when I have very young mice, like it's between the ages of 3 weeks and 10 weeks, you don't want to have them in an open concept mousery, because during this time they're a little bit stupid and they'll take risks and they don't really know what they're doing, and they're much more likely to fall out. Even though with the last set of babies they never showed any signs of wanting to come out, which is unusual. So maybe they just like it in here so much that nobody wants to leave. And I haven't had a single jumper. The last jumper that I had in here was Trixie. Brooke, was Trixie, and that was when she was really young, and it was mostly she was trying to climb up these boards. She could put her little paws on both sides and try and climb up, and then she'd fall. So I had to, that's when I had to add the Velcro to this and the plexiglass. Eventually, though, I'm going to need to make something a little bit more professional looking than Velcro. Haven't quite figured out yet how I'm going to attach plexiglass to this, that it's unobtrusive so I can easily take it away and you'd never know that there was attachments, and also put it up when it is needed. Because it's always good to have at least one cage available in case you have somebody who's a jumper. But they're rare. And I haven't had anybody jump out of here for about 6 months now. Well, they've all been very good. They seem to really, really like these cages. I like them too. They're my favorite way to keep mice, and that's because you can give them a lot of space easily and with not too much cost. And you can interact with the mice wonderfully. So let's see if I can find somebody. Hey, everybody. So it's really easy to get to your mice, to say hi to them, to give them treats. And it makes for very interactive mice. So we've got this little guy. This little guy, he's the male of this group. He's the neutered male. This is little Brampton. And the first thing, he's always the first one to say hi. And that's because male mice are very, very protective of their little girls. And the first thing he always does is bite me, like that. I get a little bit of an attack. And then after that, he's a friendly boy. He's just telling me, these are my girls. This is my space. I am the boss. Remember that. And after that, friendly, friendly little guy. So I love these cages. It's really nice to interact with them. You have no barriers, nothing like that. They're just right there to say hi to give treats to. And it's just a really magical way to keep domesticated mice. And for the mice, it is wonderful because they have a ton of space. They have a ton of enrichments. and they have a real feeling of freedom, I think. There's a real sense of freedom. They're much happier in a cage like this than any other kind of cage because of the freedom. And I have the happiest mice that I've ever had and the most interactive mice that I've ever had since I built this mousery. It's really proved that I've done it in such a way that it really makes for very, very happy mice. And if the mice are happy, I'm happy.